So it is now 3:20 a.m. on Saturday, September 27th, 2025, and I just had to leave a fourth voicemail for the Greenville Group over the last, 16 hours now, 13 hours, regarding the violent, aggressive, surveillance-based, intrusive harassment from Jasmine Irizarry directly below in 76, who keeps doxing her behavior, or it's the behavior of somebody who behaves exactly like she does, as being surveillance based. Because right now I'm lying on my bed very quietly. I've been trying to sleep for 2.5 hours now. And because of Jasmine Irizarry's admitted ongoing use of a directed energy weapon that she claims she's getting paid by the Greenville Group to use on my person when I engage in certain activities, but not others, none of them being particularly weird, just routine, normal hygiene activities that require the removal of clothing. She continues to dox the fact that this is indeed her doing this, and that she is obviously being sponsored by the Greenville Group to do, because it keeps happening over and over and over without any cessation, because the group that is permitting this to happen is the Greenville Group. I am going to them for help in dealing with this issue. And not only are they denying help, they're encouraging this by permitting it to go on, by refusing to remove Jasmine Irizarry from Unit 76 and 78, where she is being permitted by the Greenville Group to intermittently access and use as staging grounds for various types of harassment. And the reason I just left this second voicemail at 3:15 a.m. is that I just wanted to see if there's actually surveillance devices around this bed. I mean, I know there are. So I started doing something that I know triggers her immediately into becoming violent and aggressive. It's a very quiet, silent activity that nobody should have any knowledge of. Not even somebody sitting next to you should have knowledge of this activity. But every time I do happen to engage in that activity, Jasmine Irizarry becomes violent. Like she literally just loses her shit and just starts slamming and banging and smacking things around. And guess what? The trap worked. That stupid piece of shit immediately started violently slamming and banging things around directly below my bed. Not just once or twice, but like 15, 20 times, just repeated slamming and banging. All of a sudden, at 3:15 in the morning, when I did this one particular thing that immediately triggers her just about every single time I happen to do it, that just shows how obsessive and psychotic she is, and also shows the use of a directed energy device. And shows surveillance footage, shows that there's surveillance footage being propagated immediately, like live streamed to the sex offenders in the adjacent units by the Greenville Group. Canary in the coal mine, folks. It's a trap. I am now laying out traps to demonstrate that there are indeed surveillance devices in this unit, that the surveillance footage is being live streamed immediately, because there's an immediate violent triggered reaction from the psycho sex offender directly below in 76 when I do one particular silent activity. And I'm sitting here in the dark, quietly engaging in this one activity. And no, it does not involve the removal of clothing. No, I am not doing anything weird. I am doing something that people do all the time, every day, with their clothes on, sometimes at work, sometimes walking down the street or whatever. And it immediately triggers this psycho pig directly below in 76 into becoming immediately violent every single time. I'd say every single time that I randomly happen to engage in this one particular silent activity that she should have no knowledge of, because A, I'm sitting here in the dark, B, it's silent and quiet, and C, it's the middle of the night and I'm inside my living space. So all of these factors should prevent the psycho pig sex offender psycho trash directly below in 76 from becoming violent repeatedly over and over, all of a sudden out of the blue, when I engage in this one particular silent activity in the dark, lying on my bed with my clothes on. This activity does not involve the removal of clothing. It does not involve my hands going anywhere weird. But this triggers, for some strange reason, this severely disturbed, obsessive, psychotic sex offender who the Greenville Group has repeatedly referred to as their surveillance expert. So when she immediately becomes repeatedly violent directly below my bed at 3:15 in the morning, when I decide to start doing this just to see if she's watching, and she violently and immediately reacts all of a sudden in the way that she always reacts when I do this one particular thing, then A, yes, there are surveillance devices around my bed. B, the footage of my personal activities as I engage in them on this bed is being live streamed to Unit 76 and other units, presumably in this building. And C, the psycho directly below in 76 is indeed Jasmine Irizarry. And she's being permitted by the Greenville group not just to access Unit 76, that is evidently vacant and empty according to maintenance, but she is also being permitted by the Greenville group to intermittently access the bathroom of Unit 78, that is also vacant and empty according to maintenance. That's how you know that not just the sex offender who is being permitted to do this is going back and forth between vacant and unrented units, but in a criminal activistic capacity. But the landlord that is deliberately keeping Unit 76 and Unit 78 unrented on an ongoing basis for the sole purposes of allowing psychotic, violent offenders to access those units and then become violent and aggressive against the walls of my unit based on what I happen to be doing at any given moment in the privacy of my living space, then everyone involved in this is a criminal, and this is a RICO case. Just literally lying in front of me like a giant legal gift. Think about that, psychos. I just laid a trap and you walked into it, you stupid idiots. So yeah, everything that I just said now has just been confirmed. And but hey, she did stop using a directed energy device, but now she's making violent slamming and banging noises at 3:20 in the morning directly below my bed, as she has been doing for years when I happen to engage in this one very specific, very silent, almost invisible activity that she always violently reacts to and has been reacting to in the same exact violent manner for years and could only know about and have knowledge of if there are surveillance devices in this living space that are also live streaming my personal activities, not just being used for, purposes of whatever, verifying what tenants do in their privacy of their living spaces, but this is a live stream. This is a live stream racket. And the psycho below just confirmed this. There's no way she could possibly know what I'm doing on a moment-by-moment basis. And the same thing with the psycho in this bathroom of 78 smacking the wall as soon as I sit on my toilet, unless this is a live stream racket. Wow, this is like one sick and twisted operation here on the part of the Greenville group, like beyond sick and twisted. So not just are the sex offenders living in this building sex offenders, but so are the management, clearly.